No headline warned us. No camera captured the moment first. One elegant entrance at the BRTV Gala 2026, and a single phrase quietly spoken by Wang Yibo was enough to send shockwaves through global fandoms. Prince McQueen said once, felt everywhere. The BRTV Gala has always been a stage of spectacle. Crystal lights, carefully curated smiles, fashion chosen months in advance. Yet on this particular night, in 2026, something shifted the instant Xiao Zhan appeared. Not loudly, not dramatically, but unmistakably. He didn't rush the carpet. He didn't perform for the lenses. He walked with a calm precision that commanded attention without asking for it. The McQueen ensemble he wore wasn't simply luxurious. It was architectural. Sharp tailoring softened by restrained grace. Strength wrapped in quiet elegance. The kind of look that doesn't chase trends, but defines a moment. You could feel the pause ripple through the room. Conversation slowed. Cameras hesitated, then followed. This wasn't just admiration, it was recognition. Xiao Zhan didn't arrive as a guest. He arrived as a presence. And yet, the most powerful response wasn't captured on the main screens. It came later, from someone whose words rarely land without intention. Wang Yibo. For the first time, he used a title that would echo far beyond the gala walls. Prince McQueen. Not shouted, not framed as spectacle, just spoken with certainty. That was the spark, and fans felt it instantly. What made that moment explode across timelines wasn't the glamour, it was the restraint. In an industry driven by amplification, this reaction felt almost private, which is precisely why it mattered. Wang Yibo's words didn't frame Xiao Zhan as a muse or a mannequin. They framed him as royalty within the language of design. Prince McQueen wasn't about a brand endorsement. It was about embodiment, about how Xiao Zhan didn't just wear McQueen, he carried its spirit, the edge, the discipline, the poetry hiding beneath sharp lines. Fans paused, then replayed the moment, then shared it, again and again, because the title felt earned, not assigned. Across global fandom spaces, reactions poured in. Shock, pride, emotional disbelief. Many noticed the weight of, for the first time, not a nickname recycled, not a fan-made fantasy, but a fresh acknowledgement, delivered calmly, decisively. And suddenly, the gala wasn't just about fashion anymore. It became about how recognition sometimes arrives quietly from the one voice that matters most. This wasn't hype. This was alignment. As the night settled and the noise of the gala slowly dissolved into after-images and distant applause, fans began to realize that this moment could not be processed quickly. It lingered, and the more they sat with it, the heavier it felt, in the best possible way. Xiao Zhan has long been associated with elegance. That much is undeniable. But what unfolded at the BRTV Gala 2026 went beyond visual admiration. It felt like a turning point, one that marked growth rather than reinvention. He did not appear as someone trying to redefine himself. He appeared as someone who had arrived exactly where he belonged. The McQueen look became a symbol, not a statement. Every line of the tailoring echoed restraint. Every movement carried intention. Fans noticed how he stood, upright but relaxed. How he listened, present, attentive. How he smiled, not wide, not performative but grounded. These details mattered because they revealed something deeper than fashion. And then there was the weight of Wang Yibo's words. Prince McQueen, not delivered as a compliment meant to travel far, not framed for reaction. It sounded like an observation, as if he had simply named what was already there. That was what struck fans the most. This wasn't about praise. It was about recognition. Recognition that Xiao Zhan had reached a level where elegance was no longer effort. It was instinct. Across international fandoms, conversations shifted from excitement to reflection. People weren't just reacting, they were absorbing. Because moments like this don't shout for attention. They ask to be felt. As hours passed, the fandom response evolved into something unusually gentle. Instead of explosive trends or chaotic speculation, there was a collective pause. Fans shared clips slowly. Screenshots were posted with minimal captions. Many let the images speak for themselves. What stood out was how protective the atmosphere became. People weren't trying to turn the moment into spectacle. They were preserving it, almost guarding it, because everyone seemed to sense that this was not something meant to be overused or overstated. Edits emerged that focused not on drama, but on stillness. Xiao Zhan walking under soft light, standing quietly before the cameras. The way the fabric moved when he turned, the calm in his eyes. These were not scenes meant to overwhelm. They were meant to resonate. Prince McQueen became a phrase spoken with care. Fans used it not to elevate him above others, but to describe a feeling, refinement earned through time, pressure, and persistence. Industry observers quietly acknowledged the shift, not through headlines, but through tone. There was respect, a recognition that Xiao Zhan was no longer simply part of the conversation. He was shaping it. And perhaps most telling of all was what didn't happen. No clarifications, no elaborations, no attempts to capitalize on the moment. It was allowed to exist as it was, untouched, unexplained. That restraint gave it power. When people look back on the BRTV Gala 2026, they may remember the lights, the fashion, the spectacle. But for many fans, the memory will return in a quieter form. Xiao Zhan, standing composed, a tailored silhouette under soft illumination, and a single phrase, spoken once, that changed how the moment was understood. Prince McQueen, it didn't redefine him. It reflected him. It didn't elevate him artificially. It acknowledged a truth already visible to those who were paying attention. In a world that constantly demands louder proof, this moment offered something rarer: certainty without noise, elegance without explanation, recognition without repetition. If this story stayed with you longer than expected, if it felt less like news and more like something personal, that's because it wasn't meant to pass quickly. Some moments don't need to be repeated to endure. They simply settle and remain.